slowly. Of course, this plan will make your reading more slowly, and many trashy tales will cease to interest you, for they do not contain the real elements of interest. But this is no loss, but is a decided gain for you. At the end of each reading, take the time to mentally review the progress of the story. Let the characters and scenes pass before your mental vision, as in a moving picture. And when the book is finally completed, review it as a whole. By following this course, you will not only acquire the habit of easily remembering the tales and books that you've read, but you will also obtain much pleasure by rereading favorite stories in your imagination years after. You will find that your favorite characters will take on a new reality for you, and will become as old friends in whose company you may enjoy yourself at any time, and whom you may dismiss when they tire you, without offense. In the case of scientific treatises, essays, etc., you may follow a similar plan by dividing the work into small sections and mentally reviewing the thought, not the words, of each section until you make it your own. And then by adding new sections to your review, you may gradually absorb and master the entire work. All this requires time, work, and patience, but you will be repaid for your expenditure. You will find that this plan will render you impatient at books of little consequence and will drive you to the best books on any given subject. You will begin to begrudge your time and attention and hesitate about bestowing them upon any but the very best books. But in this you gain. Of course, to fully acquaint yourself with a book before reading it, you should familiarize yourself with its general character. To do this, you should pay attention to the full title and the subtitle, if there be any, the name of the author and the list of other books that he has written, if they are noted on the title page, or the one preceding it, according to the usual custom. You should read the preface and study carefully the table of contents, that you may know the field or general subject covered by the book. In other words, endeavor to get the general outline of the book, into which you may afterwards fill in the details. In reading a book of serious import, you should make it a point to fully grasp the meaning of each paragraph before passing on to the next one. Let nothing pass you that you do not understand, at least in a general way. Consult the dictionary for words not familiar to you, so that you may grasp the full idea intended to be expressed. At the end of each chapter, section, and part, you should review that which you have read until you are able to form a mental picture of the general ideas contained therein. To those who wish to remember the dramatic productions that they have attended, we would say that the principles above mentioned may be applied to this form of memory as well as to the memory of books. By taking an interest in each character as it appears, by studying carefully each action and scene, and then reviewing each act in the intervals between the acts, and by finally reviewing the entire play after your return home, you will fasten the whole play as a complete mental picture on the records of your memory. If you have acquainted yourself with what we have just said regarding the recollection of the contents of books, you will be able to modify and adapt them to the purpose of recollecting plays and dramatic productions. You will find that the oftener you review a play, the more clearly you will remember it. Many little details overlooked at first will come into the field of consciousness and fit into their proper places. Sermons, lectures, and other discourses may be remembered by bestowing interest and attention upon them, and by attempting to grasp each general idea advanced, and by noting the passage from one general idea to another. If you will practice this a few times, you will find that when you come to review the discourse, and this you should always do, it is the natural way of developing memory, the little details will come up and fit into their proper places. In this form of memory, the important thing is to train the memory by exercise and review. You will find that at each review of a discourse, you will have made progress. By practice and exercise, the subconscious mentality will do better work and will show that it is rising to its new responsibilities. You have allowed it to sleep during the many discourses to which you have listened, and it must be taught new habits. Let it know that it is expected to retain that which it hears, and then exercise it frequently by reviews of discourses, and you'll be surprised at the degree of the work it will perform for you. Not only will you remember better, but you will hear better and more intelligently. The subconsciousness, knowing that it will be called upon later to recollect what is being said, will urge you to bestow the attention necessary to supply it with the proper material. To those who have had trouble in remembering discourses, we urge you that you should begin to attend lectures and other forms of discourse with the distinct purpose of developing that form of memory. Give to the subconscious mentality the positive command that it shall attend to what is being said and shall record the same in such a way that when you review the discourse afterward, you will be presented with a good synopsis.